In the Old West, one name stands out as a symbol of justice with unwavering courage and determination: Bass Reeves. As a deputy marshal in the late 19th century, Reeves left an indelible mark on the border, arresting more than 3,000 criminals and shot and killed 14 of them in self-defense. In this video, we delve into Bass Reeves' extraordinary life and remarkable accomplishments, shedding light on his legendary status as the Old West's greatest deputy marshal. Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos. Born in 1838 to a family of slave parents in Crawford County, Arkansas, Bass Reeves emerged as a pioneer on the American frontier. Owned by a farmer and politician named William Reeves, Bass took his master's last name, like other slaves of the time. However, his first name is after his grandfather, Bass Washington. Initially working as a water boy, Reeves switched to farming with his parents as he grew up. In 1846, William Reeves moved his activities, family, and enslaved individuals to Grayson County, Texas. With an impressive height of 6 feet 2 inches, Bass Reeves possesses a combination of polite manners and a humorous personality. George Reeves, William's son, later became his personal servant, bodyguard, and companion. When the American Civil War began, George Reeves joined the Confederate Army, forcing Bass to go with him. It's unclear how and exactly when Bass Reeves escaped, but at some point during the Civil War he gained his freedom. One witness recalled how Bass Reeves and George Reeves had an argument over a card game. Bass brutally beat George and fled to Indian Territory, where he lived between the Cherokee, Creeks, and Seminoles. Immersed in their cultures, he assimilated their customs, language, and acquired exceptional tracking skills. Moreover, he honed his proficiency with pistols, becoming famous for his speed and accuracy. As a result, Reeves was regularly banned from participating in prize-winning turkey shooting competitions. With the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, Bass Reeves escaped the fugitive and left the Indian Territory. He ventured to Van Buren, Arkansas, where he acquired the land and began his journey to prosperity as a farmer and rancher. Within a year, he was married to Nellie Jenny, a Texan, and quickly began to build a family. Their farm became the place to raise their 10 children, with an even distribution of 5 girls and 5 boys, making for a happy life. Based on historical data, historians believe that during this time, Reeves sometimes took on the role of spy and guide for the U.S. deputy marshals, assisting them on business trips to the Indian Territory for court purposes. However, his satisfaction with the farming lifestyle underwent a change when the Western Federal District Court moved to Fort Smith, Arkansas. This important change coincided with the appointment of Isaac C. Parker as judge on May 10, 1875. By this time, the Indian Territory had fallen into lawlessness, attracting thieves, killers, and individuals who seek to evade the law in territories that previously did not have federal or state jurisdiction. One of Judge Parker's initial actions involved the appointment of James F. Fagan as the U.S. Marshal to oversee a panel of about 200 deputies. Fagan, upon learning Bass Reeves' vital knowledge of the area and his fluency in many tribal languages, quickly recruited him as U.S. Deputy Marshal. Reeves is assigned to the important task of restoring order in Indian Territory at the direction of Judge Parker to arrest fugitives from the law. Working with respected colleagues who would later become legends, including Heck Thomas, Bud Ledbetter, and Bill Tillman, Bass Reeves embarked on an extensive expedition across the Oklahoma region in pursuit of notorious outlaws. Over a large area, the United States Court at Fort Smith is considered the largest court in the country. Depending on the specific outlaw being sought, a deputy is usually accompanied by a cook and a Native American companion from Fort Smith. This entailed arduous journeys of more than 800 miles, venturing to places like Fort Reno, Fort Sill, and Anadarko. Although Reeves could not read or write, that did not hinder his effectiveness at catching criminals. Renowned for his gentleness and polite manners, Reeves was known as a master of disguise, frequently taking up aliases to carry out his duties. Whether posing as a cowboy, farmer, or gunman, or even an outlaw, he always wears 2 Colt pistols in his holster for quick draw. With his two-handed shooting technique, he rarely misses his target. The Bass Reeves arrests are shrouded in compelling stories, filled with intrigue, imagination, and unyielding courage. In one remarkable case, Reeves tracked down 2 outlaws in the Red River Valley near the Texas border, assembling a possession team. They set up camp about 26 miles from where both outlaws are believed to be hiding at their mother's house. After studying the terrain and meticulously planning his approach, Reeves quickly transformed himself into a destitute wanderer. Hidden beneath his worn-out clothes are his professional tools, handcuffs, pistols, and badges. Dressed in tattered clothes, old shoes, and a hat with 2 bullet holes, Reeves limped into the house and chatted with the woman who opened the door. Using a made-up story, he pretended to be suffering, saying his leg hurt after being chased by an army. Touched by his plight, the woman invites him inside, where she begins to reveal information about her 2 outlaw sons, subtly hinting at an alliance between the 3 of them. Seizing the opportunity, Reeves, feigning exhaustion, asked permission to extend his stay. As dusk fell, Reeves overheard a signed voice coming from outside the house. In response, the woman stepped outside. Soon after, the 2 outlaws rode to the house, having a long conversation with their mother. Finally, the trio entered the house and the woman introduced her sons to Reeves. After discussing their various crimes, the trio agreed that joining together would be a good idea. When sharing a room, Reeves was alert as the outlaws and their mother fell into a deep slumber, their snoring echoing through the air. Seizing the opportunity, he discreetly handcuffed the 2 without waking them up. Early in the morning, Reeves woke the young outlaws and quickly escorted them out the door. Their mother followed them for the first 2 miles, cursing Reeves endlessly. Determined, Reeves led the captured duo 26 miles back to the waiting lawmen at the camp. Within days, the outlaws were handed over to the authorities, and Bass Reeves, the brave deputy, received a handsome reward of $5,000. A major milestone in Bass Reeves' illustrious career came when he caught the notorious criminal Bob Dozier. Dozier was involved in a wide range of illegal activities that ranged from cattle and horse theft to mortgage fraud, robbery, and even murder. His sadistic nature made him an elusive target, and despite many efforts by law enforcement, no one succeeded in apprehending him until Reeves intervened. Dozier managed to elude Reeves for several months until tenacious deputy marshals tracked him down in the Cherokee Nation. After refusing to surrender, a fierce gunfight ensued on December 20th, 1878, resulting in Reeves taking down the wanted criminal. In 1887, Reeves faced murder charges in a case involving a possessive cook. Similar to many of the outlaws he had arrested before, Reeves was tried before the Judge Isaac Parker. Fortunately, he has the support of his colleague and friend, W.H.H. Clayton, who represented him in court. In the end, Reeves won, as he was acquitted of all charges. In 1889, after being assigned to Paris, Texas, Reeves took on the task of tracking down the infamous Tom Story horse thief gang. Strategically located along the familiar path of the gang, Reeves lay in wait, ready to rush out when the right moment presented itself. His plan succeeds when he surprises Tom Story with an arrest warrant. Faced with an impending arrest, the outlaw panicked and pulled out his gun, but Reeves, with lightning-fast reflexes, overtook him and fired a fatal shot. The remaining members of the gang disbanded, never to be heard from again. In 1890, Bass Reeves accomplished a remarkable feat by capturing the notorious Seminole outlaw known as Greenleaf. He committed atrocities that killed 6 people and evaded arrest for an astounding 18 years. At the same time, Reeves embarks on a chase for the famous Cherokee outlaw named Ned Christie. Though Reeves and his team resorted to setting fire to Christie's cabin to try to capture him, the cunning outlaw managed to escape. Tragedy struck Reeves's life in 1896 when his beloved wife died in Fort Smith. The following year, he was transferred to federal court in Muskogee, located in the Indian Territory. In 1900, Reeves entered into a second marriage, marrying a woman named Winnie Sumter. Despite the numerous hero stories surrounding Reeves, it was the most arduous hunt of his career that took place in 1902, the search for his own son. After successfully handing over 2 prisoners to U.S. Marshal Leo Bennett in Muskogee, Oklahoma, Reeves received some bad news. His son, Benny, accused of murder, killed his own wife out of jealousy. While the order had been on Reeves' desk for 2 days, the other deputies hesitated to act. Although Reeves was shocked by the revelation, he steadfastly accepted the responsibility of finding his son. 2 weeks later, Reeves returned to Muskogee with his son. Handing over his son to Marshal Bennett, proceedings ensued. As a result, Reeves' son faced trial, received a life sentence, and was eventually detained at Leavenworth Prison in Kansas. In 1907, responsibility for law enforcement was transferred to state agencies, leading Bass Reeves to end his term as deputy marshal. Later, Reeves took on a patrol role in Muskogee, Oklahoma Police Department. Unfortunately, in 1909, Reeves's illustrious career came to an end due to a diagnosis of Bright's disease, the disease that eventually claimed his life. On January 12, 1910, Reeves died and was buried at Agency Cemetery in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Unfortunately, the exact location of his grave is unknown as it is privately owned and unmarked. During 35 years of service as a U.S. Deputy Marshal, Bass Reeves' devotion to duty was impeccable, and he made a record over 3,000 arrests of dangerous fugitives and shot 14 of them in self-defense. He was later honored with the Great Westerner Award by the National Cowboy Hall of Fame. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.